Good evening. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live from the Norwegian woods. Once again, I'm your host, Olfakness, from WhiteWolfAlchemy.com. And in this video, we are going to examine the doozies, the triggers. When shit hits the fan, and it always does. What do we do? How do we deal with it? How can we resolve? How can we find out what and how and why? What is it that triggers us so deeply? Why do we go unconscious in these soul-to-soul connections? And how to heal it, how to get our shit together, as my mentor used to say. First and foremost, like always, here we connect to the higher self first and foremost, so that I can transmit this transmission from my highest version of self, and you can receive it from your highest version of self. So, tune in with your body. Tune in with your breath. Slow it all down for a moment. Let all the stress of this world in your life disappear for a moment. Tune in with the gratitude of being alive, here to live and fight another day. And so, take a deep breath in through the nose, one for mine. All the way down, hold it at the top for 1, 2, and one for body, in through the nose. Hold it at the top, and one for spirit, in through the nose. Pack it in. And yeah, nice. That is the problem, when these triggers hit. We go unconscious. And when we go unconscious, at that moment of trigger, activated in the pain body, in the emotional body, and the patterns, programs, templates, and habitual thinking and workings all take over. We say and do things, that we would later regret. And this happens with our loved ones. This happens with everybody. But in these connections, there's a specific purpose for this going unconscious, for you to eventually stop going unconscious. There is a purpose in these soul-to-soul connections for these triggers to assist you in your spiritual maturing process. Eventually, you will graduate from them. Eventually, the ego will be like, I love and enjoy my partner more than I enjoy being right, for example. Or I love and enjoy peace more than I love being right. Peace and harmony eventually will be, you know, your natural state as you do this work. Peace and harmony is eventually, you know, it's going to be your default setting when you commit to this work. And so you don't want to give away your peace. You don't want to give away your harmony that easy. It costs too much to allow the unconscious patterns and programs to wreak havoc on everything. And so we become, you know, aware of when we are triggered. The emotional body is inflamed. The pain body is, you know, inflamed. The mental body is inflamed. We're thinking inflamed thoughts that are not true to the connection. We change the way we view one another. You know, all of a sudden, all you see is all the things that annoy you about them, right? All of a sudden, all you see is the way they rub you the wrong way. And it becomes hard to see the good in them because they are triggering you so deeply that, you know, you're looking at them through the lens of your patterns, programs, templates, ancestral luggage. And what you see, what you say, you know, is no longer truth. And this is particularly hard for women because they are emotive beings. Men are mental beings, more rational. So this overwhelming feeling and sensation of, oh my God, and my emotional body is there, you know, and I see you in this way, and you start dealing in absolutes like a Sith Lord, you know. You never, right? That's a big one. You never do this. You never do that. You always do this. You always do that. Wah, 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 wah. And that's not true. Nobody always, very rarely, that is true, right? But now you're dealing in absolutes. Your perspective has minimized. So you're just looking at your soul connection through the lens of relationships, through the lens of, you know, and it's not true. It is not true. And nobody, it's like two barking dogs. Nobody really wants to let go. Nobody wants to quit. You know, you want the upper hand. You want to win this. Nobody wins an argument. There's only losers in that situation, in that tumultuous heat of the moment kind of thing. There's only losers. Nobody's going to win that fight. Are you kidding me? You may think you are in the moment, but every word you say is a dig deeper into the subconscious. Every hurtful word, every hurtful action is a dig deeper into, you know, the subconscious. And an elephant never forgets, and neither does a graduate soul. And so, you know, you'll carry these awful, berating things you say to one another until you deal with your shit. And so, you have to get sick of your own shit. Hopefully, before the connection goes tits up. And very often it does. Unless you have some spiritual stamina in you and you both understand what's going on and why you are together and what your purpose is here, what you're meant to be doing. Right? But oftentimes that's only one of you, the one that is, spiritually tuned in to the blueprint. And I don't give a shit what people say. Twin flames this and twin flames that. You're a graduate soul. You're connecting with another graduate soul, and this transpires in the same way every time. I don't care for the label, but it's a good label to attract those that are on the same path of the twin flame alchemy. But other than that, it holds no value to me. The term graduate soul, however, speaks to what we're here to do. We're here to graduate our own shit. We're here to graduate from, these patterns, these programs, these templates, this ancestral gunk, your addictions, your habits, your bad habits. And get your shit together. That's what we're here to do. We're not a romantic cruise. We're not here to hold hands. We're not here to sit in the couch and smooch and watch TV. We're here to be of service. We're here to be of service as graduate beings. And so, we got work to do. If you don't know what work you got to do, you should go see somebody that can help you with that. Not someone who lies to you and says, oh, I can help you get your twin flame back. Most of those assholes are shysters anyways. You need to go see somebody like me. Or any of my colleagues from Meridian Energetics. They also know. Because they're doing the actual work. This work, the alchemy. Right? So there is the inner child that is in deep need of healing. It is the inner child that is triggered. It is the inner child that is afraid. It is the inner child that is anxious. It is the inner child that, turns to addiction. It is the inner child that is avoidant. It is the inner child that is addicted to love, or avoidant of love, afraid of love. However, afraid to be alone, that's a big one. Right? So these are the things you need to look at. So, these are the main factors as to why it is not working out. These are the main factors as to why, shit is hitting the fan. And so, if you are two people in connection and you're both willing to be accountable for your own shit, for your own bullshit, and you're ready to stop bullshitting yourself and the other one and actually be real, then you're mature enough to start facilitating this connection in the way that it's supposed to be. Until then, You know, you're going to keep butting your head in the wall. You're going to come up against some obstacles. You're going to come up against your own shit time and time again. You're going to have to look yourself in the mirror and have some wake-up calls. Hopefully you'll smell the coffee and be like, oh shit, this is all my fault. This is all our fault. We're doing this. There's no black magic. There's no dark interference. That is all your own shit. I'm sorry, but that's a cold, hard truth. It's all your own shit. Nobody's fucking with you. You fucking with yourself. Sabotaging from unconscious patterns and programs, unconscious behavior as a result of traumas and childhood and programming, upbringing, indoctrination, especially, you know. If you were one of those people that come from a religious background and a religious programming of the twin flame label, you know, this is my twin. And in all the groups, you know, whining about my one, he did this and he did that, and he won't do this and he won't do that. You know? And I see year in and year out this stuff going on. It's time to get it. It's time to get it. Take the focus off them. Take the focus off the one. And focus on you. You're the one. You are the one. Yes, you are. And I'm the one. I'm the reason for all of my, you know, I did it all to myself. My whole life. Once I realized that, I was free. I was free. Once I took accountability for me fucking up for me, you know, I had nobody else to blame anymore. My parents were set free. Yeah, they did some fucked up stuff. You know, absolutely. But I'm the one who needed to change that. It's my life that they helped fuck up. And I fucked up theirs. In turn, it's kind of how it goes. You know, I was not innocent in any of that. Not when I was older. When I was a kid, yes. But as I grew up and, you know, I carry the mantle for my ancestral bullshit, and I was equally to blame. You know, I was no better than they were. I wreaked havoc on my own life and my surroundings. Until accountability showed up for me, and I was like, okay, wow. I gotta own that. I gotta own that. I gotta heal that. I gotta feel that. I gotta sit with that. And not sit in medicine ceremony, you know, every weekend or every month or, you know, year round. You know, I'm not gonna fix your shit that way. Sobriety is the way to go when you're doing this work. Then you can return to ceremony and get a lot more out of it than you would when you're inflamed in the mental body, inflamed in the emotional body, inflamed in the pain body, and your astral body is attracting all kinds of gnarlies and nasties. You know? So there's 3 steps to getting out of it. I've mentioned this many times before, and I will mention it year in and year out as long as I'm alive. Inner child. Alright? You need to perform the hero schemos, the divine marriage. Wed mommy and daddy in here, the anima and animus, so that you stop projecting your inner polar opposite onto your partner. And then you need to connect with the higher self and embody the divine parent yourself and your surroundings. And you can be strict and stern. You can have boundaries. You can still raise your voice. You can still say, fuck no. I don't fucking allow this shit. Stop it. You know, you can be human still, but you will be able to see it. Oh my God, that was me. I did that. I still have work to do. I gotta take time to be with myself and continue to do this work. It's a never-ending process, I promise you, because life happens. But it's so much easier to not self-sabotage. And the way that you recognize your self-sabotage, and this is where Toltec training comes in very handy, is to stalk your self-pity and stalk your self-importance. Self-pity is, the why me, why does this always happen to me, poor me, and feeling crap, and staying in that loop of pity. Awful, awful, awful feeling. I've been there many times. I felt like the whole world was against me. I felt like everything, always. But I was the one doing it to myself. You have to realize. Then in comes self-importance, and like you're on top of the world again. Everything's going great. I'm the best that ever was. Probably not. It's definitely not me that's making any mistakes. It's the others. And then you fuck up and you self-sabotage again out of self-importance, and you're back in self-pity. And then the loop continues. In and out of the spectrum. So it's like a teeter-totter, right? Isn't that what they call it? So you're like going from one end of the spectrum to the other. Self-pity, and then over to self-importance. Yeah. Top of the world, Mom. And it would behoove you to get to that middle place where you can stalk it and go like, oh, I'm about to go into self-pity. Not go there. Oh, I'm about to go into self-importance and think that, believe that I'm the greatest one that ever lived. I'm the big fish now. Neither is true. You're neither the smallest, most puny, pitiful fish, and you're not the biggest, grandest, bestest fish that ever lived either. You're somewhere in between, and we all are. That's the beauty of it. And once we can stay there in the middle and be like, because there's always a bigger fish. There's always a smaller fish. There's always someone that could use your talents, gifts, and traits. And there's always going to be someone with more talents, gifts, and traits than you. There's always going to be someone who's better than you at what you do. But to not shrink in the presence of those, but rather see, oh, I could learn something from this guy. I could help this guy. Instead of gloating in the ego or feeling small in the ego in the presence of people that are better than you. So you come to own where you're at. It's a very sobering thing, this work. This work sobers us. And that's why we have to be sober doing this work as well, because otherwise you'll still be intoxicated and, love is intoxicating enough in itself. You have to take your love goggles off and be like, love is not the answer. Lucidity is. Sober thinking is. If you're still in that, I can't live if living is without you. I can't give. If you're still in that place, then you're intoxicated by love. You're not going to see things clearly. You're going to put your partner up on a pedestal and they're going to fall down every time. Right? Or you're going to be needy and push away love at every angle. Or sabotage it. Sabotage it from your unconsciousness. So you have to get to a sober place. Place of sober thinking. You know? And then you can enjoy a glass of wine, but it won't fuck you up. You won't go into self-pity and cry, empty bottle after bottle after bottle, and, you know, cry those tears of self-pity. You know? So, you're holding that inner child, allowing that inner child to feel, to cry. You're sitting with what needs to be felt rather than medicating it. That's the biggest thing. And you're sitting with it rather than distracting yourself with social media and the inbox and attention. And your need for attention is your lack of connection. That's the biggest one. Your need for attention is your lack of connection. Your addiction to love is your lack of connection. Your avoidance and fear of love is your lack of connection. So the cure here is connection. So the more you can feel and heal, the more you can connect within, the more you'll be able to connect with another in this connection without having the alchemy of the connection tear everything apart and have, you know, energetic diarrhea on the connection and shit hits the fan and shit all over the place. So it's actually very, very simple once we get down to the mechanics of the twin flame alchemy. Once we get down to the mechanics of the soul to soul connection, it's very, very simple. We just love to make it so hard on ourselves. We love to, you know, complicate things. It's the human nature. We just love it. We just absolutely love complicating, as Mel Brand said, complicating making a peanut butter jelly sandwich. You know, there's 100 ways to, you know, argue about how that can be done. But peanut butter jelly sandwich is a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other. Smack them together and you got a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Why make it any harder than that? We want to fight about how we're going to cut it. We're going to fight about, you know, what kind of bread, what kind of jelly, what kind of peanut butter. Well, those are some of the things you argue about. You know, it's bullshit, and you have to realize, oh my God, we're actually arguing about bullshit. I'm annoyed with my partner about bullshit. Doesn't matter. Let the ego take the back seat for a little bit, and you'll realize this is not worth it. We're fucking up a good thing here over bullshit. Right? And there's no place for addictions in these connections. No place. None whatsoever. Not even a phone addiction. Not even social media addiction. It's gonna steal from you. It's gonna steal. It's stealing from you right now, from this process. You know, a lot of you are not going within and being with yourself because social media is right there. So much easier to go on social media and get some attention and shallow connection. And you're inboxing your friends and your community and blah 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 blah. Same story to everybody, and it's all bullshit. It's just you not doing the work. Procrastinating. It's not getting you anywhere. You think you are because I'm like talking about it and talking about my soul partner and saying the same shit to 20 different people if they just listen. If you can get their attention. Come 3 months later, you're not even moved 1 inch on the game board. Because you're still here on social media doing the same stupid shit you were always doing. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You know, it is what it is. I see it happening. I've done it myself. That's how I can see it. So you have to do something different to experience something different. You have to make a different choice to end up in a different place. What are you going to do? Oh, you're feeling some mystical stuff. First thing you go and do is write a status update about it. How is that helping you? Is it helping anybody else? You know, you'd have even more mystical experiences if you just went offline for 3 months, sat with yourself, connected, really connected. Then you would experience mystical things that the mystics have written about for millennia. You know, these things that are bestowed the very, very few. The very, very few. And they are right there at your feet, at your disposal. They are available to you, these experiences. But they are squandered at the hands of social media, at the hands of Facebook groups and online cliques and whatnot. I know because I've done it. I've done it and I've been there. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it. I want to be of service. And I want to experience more of these things. I want to be with my connections and connect deeply with myself. I regret. The only regret I have is not going deeper with myself when I had the chance, when I was alone for all those years. I was desperate to connect and have another connection and figure out these connections and you know, I was in my 30s and oh my god, I felt like, you know, it was my last chance in this lifetime to experience tantra and, you know, spiritual orgasms and, you know, I know how it is to be in spiritual puberty. You're horny as fuck and you want to you know, merge those chakras with fucking somebody, and reach an exalted state of consciousness in union with somebody. I know how that feels. But it will come a time when you like me will regret not having been enough alone. When the world will need you so much more than it is right now. When your family will need you so much more. But right now you have the privilege of cultivating those spiritual juices and marinate in that sauce and, soak up all of that goodness, write in a book, right? You could be an author, but you're posting status updates instead. I want to write in my book, but I'm making lives and writing articles, which are not, paying me half as much as my book could. So I know what I'm talking about. I know all too damn well. So I will post a challenge, and I may come back here from time to time, but I'm going to deactivate again. I just social media and my inbox and people and squandering talents, gifts, and trades for social media. I don't want to do it anymore. It's come to an end. And you will know where to find me. I'll be here making occasional lives. I'll be posting my articles and writing a little bit in that book from time to time. I'm so close to being ready to present something of great value that can provide for me and my family a lot more than this work. And so I speak from experience. Need for attention is lack of connection. As soon as you feel that need for attention, when you're itching in your finger to pick up your phone or go scroll or whatever and get some dopamine, put it away. Create a mobile hotel, or better yet, I'm going to buy one of these phones that is not smart. You can only use it to call and get text messages. I'm going to have one of those phones this year. And I'm going to have my smartphone in its own place for, the banks and shit that needs to be done. But, yeah. Time to stop squandering that sacred connection and sacred energy online. Alright. So, what do you do when you're triggered? Leave the room. Leave the room. Leave the room. What do you do when the connection seems to disconnect? Go. Leave the room. Go connect with yourself. Works every time. Go be in your own energy, and the moment your own energy harmonizes, their energy harmonizes, you can come back to the room and you'll see, wow, I'm sorry I said that, I'm sorry I did that, It really doesn't matter. My ego is a bitch. Smack that ego. Alright? I don't need to be right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry. That's the most powerful sentence that you can learn. I was wrong and I'm sorry. I was wrong. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. Thank you for watching. And if you have a lot of problems with an inflamed emotional body, these triggers, come see me. I would love to help you with your specific, unique things. And I love doing that work more than anything else in the world. So, I hope to see you.